Let's make the strawberry cookie and the Red Harvest set. This is the base of all of the cookies in the Red Harvest set, and it's that beige color. The first thing you want to do is outline the cookie with that beige color. So I'm just going fully in a circle. This is completely in real time, and I like to go in that circle maybe 2 or 3 times. One thing that you might consider doing is outlining every single one of your cookies, your circle cookies, particularly in this set that works because we are doing everything in the same exact color. If you do every single one before filling them in, then you can make sure you have a really strong, rigid edge for you to be able to fill in the future. You can tell I did not do that for this cookie. You don't have to do it, but if you feel like you're getting a lot of overflow, then I would recommend doing that. But the other thing I like to do is I'll create that outline and then I start filling in my cookie from the inside instead of going along the outside of it. And you can see I had a weird blockage in my piping bag, and I'm going to go all the way around filling in any extra pieces. You definitely want to make sure you're adding a lot of icing. If you are new to cookie decorating, you are going to be adding more icing than you think makes sense. And I don't know what was going on with my piping bag, but I kept having blockages today. And I try and go close to the edge without overflowing the edge. And the more you decorate cookies, the easier this will be for you. But even pros absolutely have cookie or icing spillage. And then I come in with my scribe, or this could be your toothpick, and I'm going to push the icing to that edge and then push it back into the center so it's not getting too much pressure on it. And I like to do this, one, to move all the icing around so we can have a very flat surface, and 2, to make sure that every single crevice is filled in and that line blends seamlessly with the rest of my icing. The hardest part about this strawberry cookie is deciding how big you want this strawberry shape to be. So we're going to get started after we have that base of our cookie set. And again, we want this base to stay wet. That's the point of wet on wet style, is we're putting a thin wet icing onto other thin wet icing. So when you are piping on these strawberry shapes, you want to start with kind of a triangle shape, but of course we don't want any kind of harsh lines. That's not what strawberries are about. So it's a kind of guided strawberry shape. And unlike the cherry and the watermelon, while you still want your icing to kind of flow out of your piping bag, it's not gonna hurt to kind of press that icing out of the bag a little bit more, because then it gives you some like wobbly strawberry shapes, and that's totally fine. And if you don't like the shape you end up with, you can add to it just like I did. And another difference between the cherry cookie, the watermelon cookie, and this strawberry cookie is the pattern we're putting onto this cookie. So for the cherries and the watermelons, there was 8 total of the fruit. We did 2 in the middle and then 3 on each side. And for the strawberry cookie, we're doing 3 in the middle, 2 on each side of that, and then 1 on each side of that. And so I started with the 1 in the middle, and then the 1 above it, and the 1 below it, and then the 2 on each kind of edge of the cookie. I know we're working with a circle, so what am I talking about, edge? But opposite sides, so we kind of had those 4 corners, and then I'm adding the 2 in between each of those sections. And I apologize that this is focusing so much on my hand. It just feels in line with how this set felt like it came together for me, where it's kind of good enough, right? So next we're going to come in with the green. Again, we want everything to be wet. We want all the icings to still be wet. That's why it has this gloss. And we're not going to come in with any kind of prescribed pattern for this greenery on top of the strawberry. I don't know why I'm blanking on what this would be called. Strawberry tops? I think I can just call it that. And so I'm just doing maybe a few, I think it kind of comes down to about 4 different dips into the top of the strawberry, and then kind of 2 or 3 dips above, if that makes any sense. And this one, I am touching the icing a whole heck of a lot more when it comes to my piping bag. I'm also moving a lot faster so I can get kind of a thinner, less precise look to these strawberry tops. And it can just seem a little bit more natural because strawberries, they're just not consistent. Once that cookie is dry, I'm coming in with the very optional edible pen. I did black for all of these. You can argue in the comments about how strawberry seeds are actually not black. I get it. I'm just using a black pen for consistency's sake. So I'm starting off by just adding the seeds onto the strawberry, and I'm pretty consistently doing 3 on the top row and then 2 below that. And if the strawberry is especially big, I might add a few more. You don't have to, again, with these patterns, do anything specific. I just had a patterned candy cane cookie a little while ago, and the pattern was not great. Some people loved it, others didn't. I was in the other camp of not super loving it. But again, in the end, these are cookies, so does it really matter? I don't think it does. The hardest part when it came to the drawing on the strawberries in the end was deciding what that extra kind of zhuzh would be outside of the seeds. And like with the watermelon cookie, leaving it as just the black marker on the seeds would look great. It just leaves the question for the cherries. What extra zhuzh are we doing there? So do whatever you want. I just adding an extra line or 2 to every single strawberry, and I really just wish I had my fine edible pen, but it had dried out, so c'est la vie. And there's our strawberry cookie. The strawberry cookie is one of 3 in the Red Harvest set that includes watermelon, cherry, and strawberry fruit patterns on a cookie.